Alright, welcome back everyone from that break. I am Pacific, and you're watching the second to last day of the Lady Arcaders Super Showcase, aka LAS. We are here benefiting the amazing charitable organization CARE. Thank you all so much for your donations, for watching, for hanging out, and for sharing our stream with your friends. We have an amazing run coming up for you, continuing our little Legend of Zelda block. We have our Link to the Past randomizer. So y'all, I hope you're excited for that because we are ready to get started. So once again, Legend of Zelda, A Link to the Past randomizer. This will be the Triforce Hunt percent on the SNES by the queen of randomizers, GrayGooGirl. Whenever you're ready, Gray.
Hey folks, I'm GrayGooGirl, and I'm joined on commentary by the wonderful and talented Uni.
Hello.
And we're going to be running today, A Link to the Past with Overworld Glitch Logic, doing a Triforce Hunt percent. So what we're going to be doing is collecting a series of Triforce pieces, and eventually once we've got 20 of them, we'll hand them in, and that will be the end of the run. So yeah, it's going to showcase certain Overworld glitches and fun stuff like that. I think that kind of covers everything. So yeah, Uni, whenever you're ready, if you want to give me a count-in.
Yeah, let's get started. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go.
Alright, so the first thing we're going to do is we are going to showcase, well, first we're going to grab this, small shield, and then we're going to immediately do some fun stuff over here, by betting ourselves into a wall. Just like this. So we are using dash boots, and we are getting ourselves partially embedded into the wall, in a pause buffer, and now we've teleported down, and we are below the transition of this little map right here. So get over to the other end, and we push down and do the funny walking thing. And that pops us right onto this island, and we got our first Dorito! So yeah, every time we get one of these, feel free to toss Dorito emotes in the chat. There is actually a stock one from Twitch. I don't know why, but it's awesome. So yeah. I'm gonna be yelling Dorito every time I find one.
Oh. I'm sure I'll be interrupted a lot of times. So to explain a little bit of what you just saw, first of all, we start with the boots. That's because pretty much all glitches in this game are about 50 times easier if you have the boots. So glitched randomizer, just start with them. I believe we're going to get another clip coming up right here. And by pressing boots and a direction on the same frame, you can just clip a little bit into a ledge, and by repeating that a bunch of times, you can clip, in this case, I believe, 8 pixels into the ledge. And the collision detection of this game doesn't really like it when you're halfway in the ledge. And it's gonna spit Link out by teleporting him. So we can either do upward or downward teleport. So far you've seen us do, you've seen Gray do 2 downwards teleports.
Yep, so we're going to be doing a bunch of different teleports. That clip is going to be used a lot, both upwards and downwards in certain spots, to give us access to stuff we rightly should not have access to this early on. What we just did there was K45, as it's colloquially known, which you're supposed to have mirror to get into and be in the dark world, so yeah, we're already way out of normal logic for the game. No luck there. Another heart piece.
There are some other glitches we'll be doing in this run, but that clipping into walls and teleporting is by far the biggest thing.
Oh yeah, it gives us so much access to the world, and like, it took me playing this game a lot, especially once I learned Overworld glitches, to realize just how much of it opens up. And that's through other series of glitches that are sort of a byproduct of that, or used for other purposes. Alright, so this ledge is... there's a Dorito there, which means if we clear Aga, we can get a Dorito. That's good.
We're not going to do that.
Yeah, that's long. That takes a while. So there are 29. Instead of 30 Triforce pieces, there are 29. Yeah, Aga's Tower is a, 5-minute time sink, if you're quick. And it requires a bunch of tools to do, and there's no other checks along the way, so it's just 5 minutes to get that one item. Which nobody wants. Hey, bombs! That is a good sign. That's gonna make Kakariko Village a lot easier.
Yeah, this is That's basically one check before you need bombs, so very nice place to get them.
Yeah, and 3 bombs is enough to get us through Kakariko, where we'll hopefully get a little bit more money, and I can either buy another set of 10 bombs, or I can find more along the way. Hey, Dorito! We got 2!
Or you could get a Dorito.
Get a Dorito! Doritos are good! People love Doritos. So, our next stop is Kakariko Village, where we're going to check out Blind's hideout, and then check out the well. Both of which have bomb spots for it, 1 chest each. No, yeah, it's 1 chest in Blind. But yeah. So that's 2 checks that if we didn't have bombs, we wouldn't be able to do, and we'd have to loop back, which takes time. Again, obviously we want to move fast, so having bombs before then is very, very important.
There's also about 15 checks or so right here in Kakariko, so odds are we're going to get some good items here.
Yeah, this is going to be the sort of the start of where we figure out where our next steps begin, is all the checks we do. Moon Pearl! Heck yeah!
Wow.
Okay, so Moon Pearl is hands down the most important item in this run. It's what allows us to be in the Dark World outside of bunny form. And getting that really early is a huge, huge boon. So at this point, we have full access to Light World. We have partial access to Dark World. We're still missing a sword to be able to do one of our tricks to give us main access to Dark World. So that's,
Trying to think what you need a sword for.
Spin speed. You're
Right.
flipping out. Yeah, so we can't do spin speed. Hammer! Oh, okay, excellent. These are awesome finds thus far. Dorito!
Dorito.
Wow, we got so much stuff. Just raining
this
upon us
is,
decent things.
Very book, too. That's not quite as useful. But a lot of major items right here, and
yeah.
this is looking like a pretty good seed so far, which I'm sure means we'll be stuck at 18 Doritos for 20 minutes, but...
Oh, yeah. Absolutely. Yeah, so don't be fooled by really quick early progress. This does have a tendency to slow down pretty much as you go through it. Because there's so many front-loaded checks in Kakariko. It has this sort of, like, valley pattern to it, where a lot of checks at the start, whole lot of, like, sort of slowing down and sort of evening out in the middle, and then it bumps right back up when you get to Ganon's Tower, because that particular dungeon has the most checks of any area in the game. It's like
yeah,
26?
right now we're actually surprisingly close to having Ganon's Tower access. If Gray gets hookshot, there's a good chance that she just decides to go straight to Ganon's Tower. Maybe not quite with 4 hearts, but...
We were talking about this as sort of a thing that could happen, not that it's a thing that we expect to happen, but yeah, to get into Ganon's Tower, all you need is a way to do spin speed, and a way to clip into a wall, and have control in the Dark World. So, for us, it would be having boots and hook shots, along with Moon Pearl, or having a sword. Sword and boots. So, yeah, we're still gonna go with our standard entry until we see any other reason not to. We didn't find a bottle, so unfortunately we're gonna have to go back to Kakariko at some point to talk to the bottle kid. Which would be the normal bug net check. There we go.
Also, we've had a couple minutes without glitches, so let's go to Desert Palace early.
Yeah, exactly. We're just gonna hop that wall. It's totally fine. Don't worry about it. This game is brilliantly coded and has no problems. Yeah, so what we did there was
Honestly,
we did a...
I'm surprised... Oh.
No, go ahead.
I'm surprised how much this game is capable of handling without crashing sometimes.
Oh yeah, you do such absurd things, and it just takes it like a champ. It's like, oh yeah, we'll just put you up here, don't worry about it. Alright, so we're gonna grab this small key. Unfortunately, this is not the best pattern, but it's a decent pattern. Triforce piece and Mimic Cave. Alright, that's good to know.
Might come into play.
Yes, for the randomizer, they added in that all of those normal hints it would give you actually give you item locations, or at least hints about something being useful in certain locations. Like, it might say, a cave holds a unique item, which is hands down one of the least useful comments it can give, but...
Especially
like
since...
Yeah.
Especially since a single arrow is technically a unique item.
Yeah, or like the single rupee.
That's not in this game. That's OOT.
I know that. I mean, there are 2 single rupees. I know some people still refer to it as the Greg, even though there's 2 of them, and it's not actually. But yeah, I digress. Alright, so we haven't found any of the dungeon items yet, which is fantastic. We've got the big key. We don't have the compass or map. We don't want to see compasses or maps. Because if we get to the point where there are no other checks in the dungeon and we don't have a dungeon item, it means we can skip the boss. And because there's only one more check left that we can get that isn't a boss check, it means that we can also skip this one as well. So, 2 checks.
And we also
Desert
got
Palace.
the bow, which is an incredible find.
Excellent find, yes. It's super useful. It's required for several dungeons. And for... It's not required for Mimic Cave, but it's useful for Mimic Cave. Yep, and... boy. Still don't have a sword. Still, I would like a sword, but so far nothing. And we don't have any bombs, so we'll come back for this.
Oh, this is a terrible place to not have bombs.
Yeah, well, I'll come back here when I have to do Checkerboard Cave. So once we get gloves and we're going to do that check, I'll come back for it. Just gotta remember that it's not there. That's why we have these wonderful tracker maps that auto-track where we've been. I will actually have to mark off Desert Palace, because that is completely done. So yeah, if you're following along, you can see both sets of maps. Those are all of the locations we're going to have to check through this. We're not going to get to all of them. We don't need to, but those are the ones that are available to us throughout the game. They are not currently set to a specific type of logic, primarily because I like having all of them displayed at once. Kind of gives you a feel of like how many relatively are left. Alright, so we're going to pull this, because that's going to give us one more check.
While there is logic, the logic of this seed assumes that you're going to do glitches. Often logic in overworld glitches is a lot more of a guideline than what you actually can do.
Alright, so right now what I just did was took a safety save. It's very important for that because the next trick I'm going to be doing in this series is going to be very, very risky. If we get hit, it would cause us to lose all of our progress. So, yeah, saves are
there's
always,
a potential game crash coming up.
Yeah. Like, it just can't handle it, doesn't understand it, and that... Well, I'll explain that when we get there and sort of explain why it's very important. I also don't have bombs still. We're gonna save and quit. We're gonna go buy bombs from a shop. Because that's important. Yeah, that's usually I'm
rarely seen bombs be such an issue.
Yeah, usually they're not this well hidden. So we're gonna go grab those from a shop over here. It's 50 rupees and we've got like 600 right now, so we are in really good shape. We're also probably gonna pay a visit to Zora because we have the money and pay back our loan shark. Yeah, he has a tendency. So King Zora requires 500 rupees to buy an item from him. This item is never worth 500 rupees. In the entirety of the time I've been running this game, it's been useful maybe once or twice. And most often it's you're exchanging 500 rupees for a lot less rupees.
And of course you always get an important item right before him, so you can't just reset the console. And
Yep, exactly. So we're gonna pop down this way. And we're going to try and do this glitch, although I do not have a lot of health for it, which is unfortunate. Also, we're seeing a lot really low health on this one, too. Typically, by the time you've gotten this far, you have at least, like, 7 hearts.
Yeah, there's been a lot of money and not a lot of other stuff this seed.
Yeah, we're going to use arrows to take these out. This is Mini Moldorm Cave. Oh. Oh. Come on. Stop dodging. Thank you. There we go. And just bombs. Just bomb drops. That's also very odd. Let's grab these. More money. Ooh.
Very.
Okay.
That might come in handy very soon. Dorito.
Dorito! That full heart's gonna help in case I mess this up, which hopefully I won't. I did. So we're gonna get over to here.
You have Moon Pearl. You don't have to do this.
I don't have to, but I want to. It's part of it's
Fair
showing
enough.
off stuff we can do. And also, it's just faster. So I am very close to being on the verge of death.
Gray armed a glitch called Water Walk right there.
Yeah, and I'm going to do a different setup. I know
And,
you tend to do a different one for this, but... Yep. So we're going to use that into a thing called fake flippers. So the game is going to think we have flippers and when we don't for certain reasons. Come on, line up properly. There we go.
Yeah, the game just... If I remember correctly, it takes you 8 frames to start moving in the water, and the game only kicks you out of the water after 9 frames, so you have 1 frame to move in the water before it kicks you out, and if you screen transition on that frame, you can stay in the water. But if Gray gets hit in this state, the game crashes.
Yeah, it doesn't know what to do. Oh, hey, well, we died. We're gonna get a fairy revival on water. Okay,
Wait,
I get to say it. I've never had this happen before.
are you gonna walk on water now? Okay, that works apparently.
I'm shocked.
I genuinely did not know that was a thing. Is water walk still gonna be armed?
This is a learning experience for both of us. It is!
It
Holy
is!
wow. Okay, so we're now walking on water. Water walking allows us to dash, which is faster. It's just overall a better thing. It's also the only way you can go out to Bridge Guy without flippers and get back. So we're going to do the armed water walk for this. We're going to hop up to this area and go into this waterfall over here. Now, normally you won't be able to use fake flippers and get in here, but if you have Moon Pearl, it still works. Hey, mirror. Mirror's good. Mirror is very good. Yeah, I think we're gonna go back and do Ice Cavern. It makes sense to do that. So yeah, that was interesting. Oop, I almost bonked, and that would have been bad.
I was so scared you were going to bonk there.
That was almost very, very bad, but I got it. I caught it. We fixed it. Nothing bad happened. Everything's okay. Yeah, fairy revival while doing fake flippers.
I don't think it's a crash if you bonk.
Oh, it's a crash if you bonk. Oh my god, crabs! Stop being so aggressive!
You get the chance to save warp out.
Oh, hot pink ice cavern, nice. Oh, by the way, the colors are all randomized, so if you haven't seen this game before, nothing is the right color right now. It's all very much, either bright or just completely off. Alright, so we're gonna do that. We're gonna go back to our house, and we are gonna check with Sassy. Sasrilla. I just prefer to call him Sassy. We're gonna see what's in Sassy's closet. So we're gonna go over this way. Unfortunately, since I don't have a sword, I cannot arms spin speed, so we won't be able to show that off. But hopefully we'll get a sword from Sassy. I'm sure he's got something. Walking upstairs and charging upstairs are the exact same speed. Only I think actually there's a little more lag frame when you dash.
I say he has 20 arrows in a heart piece.
20 arrows in a heart piece. Alright, let's see. Nope, rupees. More rupees. And 10 arrows.
1 for 3.
1 for 3. Okay. So let's save and quit. I have the hammer, so I can do... I used to play the swordless a lot, so we can still do a lot of the things that would normally be blocked off by not having a sword. Such as going into... We're gonna do Hyrule Castle Escape. Normally you want to have a source of damage that is reliable for that, just because there's certain enemies you have to kill to get through. So we're going to pop over here.
We have 2 sources of damage that should be reliable, so...
Yeah, bombs and arrows, hammer and arrows are definitely a good cover for that. Usually this early on it's kind of hit and miss if you're actually going to have that, but... Alright, so, hey, Dorito! Our 6th Dorito. Nice. Yep, I was on mushroom. That was not what I wanted to do. And the single green rupee. Ow! Come on. Quit it. Guards being mean. So we're gonna pop into the castle now. We're gonna go do the bottom section of it. Again, don't have all the stuff I would love to have for this. If I had a sword, I would be able to do the lampless dark cross section, but that's not a thing we need to worry about right now. This dungeon is definitely different from all of the others in that there is no compass. So, map and big key are the things yeah, the big key is something we absolutely need, but that's guaranteed off of a mob drop, and the map is something we just don't want to see. Ideally, it'll be in Dark Cross, and we'll have to think about it, so... Yeah, we want to keep an eye out for... If we find the map, that means we're going to have to do an additional check in this dungeon. And a heart piece. Yeah, so for those of you who aren't familiar with this game, every dungeon has a map and a compass and a big key, except for this one. Map shows you the map of the dungeon that you've explored. The compass shows you where the boss is. And the big key opens a thing called the big chest, also big key doors, which usually leads to the boss. There are several exceptions because this game is nothing but exceptions.
If you
So, like,
haven't gathered that much from watching this run.
Yeah, there are certain dungeons that don't have big key requirement for the boss doors. There's all sorts of stuff like that. Yep. That guy just didn't want to go down. Alright, so we're gonna pop up here. We have one more chest to check here, and then if we do not find a set of gloves or something else that would mean that we can explore the back end, then we're just going to move on and do a fun glitch called Death Mountain Ascent. So that'll be coming up as soon as we get confirmation on what is in here. And a boop. That out. And
you don't do the cool version of Death Mountain Ascent, so I don't get to explain glitches.
I do the fun version of it,
But-
the one that like looks fun and shows me swimming on air. It's cool.
I want to explain screen wraps.
We'll explain
But
screen
yeah,
wraps.
this is
I mean, we're gonna get there. We'll get there.
this is Death Mountain Ascent. It's a huge sequence break. It's going to let us get up Death Mountain early, and that has huge implications because it's going to let us get to a Dark World portal without any items. So doing this is actually lets you get into the Dark World without mirror, without gloves, without moon pearl, without anything. Obviously, you want that stuff, but this is probably the biggest sequence break in the entire randomizer right here. And Gray absolutely nailed it, and is going to have to do a pretty precise dash to actually get back inbounds here.
Hold up. I do the version with that version.
There we go.
Typically, it takes a couple tries because it's not really a great. It requires a little bit of luck on that one. All right, and we're going to pause and pause. Go. Another little warp up to grab that heart piece while it's there. We're also going to pop into Tower of Hera right now. See if we can complete that while we're up here. Hopefully, I think we got a boomerang. Yes. Well, I missed the boomerang.
First try. Oh,
Look,
powder.
First try every time. Pop that, hit that. Yeah, so powder is going to be useful for a couple things. Specifically the worst room, well, the room I consider to be the worst room in the game, which is the tile floor in Ganon's tower. Triforce pieces in plain sight. Okay, we're going to come back, because we do not have big key, and that means the big key is in the basement. Basement requires fire to open that chest, and we do not have fire, so we are just not going to do that right now. What we are going to do is we're going to pop down here, and we don't really have the stuff to save old man right now. I could probably do it with the hammer. Yeah, we're going to do it with the hammer.
I mean, boots dust goes a long way.
Yeah, I could do it with boots dust as well. Okay, there's a Triforce piece right there, so we're going to grab that.
What we're discussing is there's a very useful check that will give us a checkpoint, but it's inside a dark room, which means that it's a pain to get, and normally you would want a sword to navigate around dark rooms more easily, but Gray doesn't have that.
I can do it with boomerang. That's what I'm going to do.
Oh yeah, boomerang's also a good option. So we're just discussing what items can you navigate dark rooms with.
Yeah, boomerang is useful because it gives you some estimation of how far you are away from a wall. So I can determine if I'm on the right slope, standing in the right position. It is a lot less clean than doing it with a sword. And I'm wondering if Paradox Cave has a sword, so I'm tempted to check that first. I think, actually, yeah, I'm gonna go do Paradox first. I think that'll be the way to go. So yeah, we're gonna go across this way. We're gonna show off a wonderful thing known as Land Bridge.
Oh yeah, this is a fun one. There's just... Gray's going to do a downward teleport to this little patch of land between a diagonal wall and a horizontal wall, and the collision on this little seam is really broken, and she can just wiggle her way up that.
And this is Land Bridge. So it's a space off of the map that you wouldn't normally be able to see, which is just It's sort of a connecting point between certain pieces of the map. And it looks absolutely terrible when you can actually see it. So we're going to...
And now we hope that the item up there isn't anything.
It's a boomerang. I'm going to do it just because I can. It won't take that long to do, and I don't see a reason
I
why
hate
we
this
should.
clip.
Alright, so we're going to pop up here. This is a little dangerous. There we go, we're past the dangerous part. We're going to go down this way. This is technically water, but not water, so it doesn't really know what to do in certain instances.
Clouds are made out of water.
So we're going to go over here, we're going to down like that. We're going to do basically the same little wiggling we did before. And if we hit it just on the right set of frames, it should kick us directly out onto this island if it wants to cooperate. I gotta reline up just to double check that bit.
Is this like
There we go.
frame rule dependent or something?
Okay, I just realized I also don't have... Okay, I can do boots clip into this wall to get out. Alright, so we're going to then get back onto land by dashing right there. Nope, didn't want to give it to me.
I haven't seen this one, actually.
Yeah, you can get partially into the wall like that. It's a little finicky to get back in. There it is.
Nice.
Alright, so we're going to drop down here and do a thing called Spiral Cave. It's named that because it's a spiral and it's a cave. Sometimes our people are very good at coming up with names, and sometimes it's
sometimes we name things Cave 45.
We tried really hard. Okay, so there's not much that's gonna go on for the next like 30 seconds. Pacific, do you have anything you wanna say?
Yeah, definitely. We actually have a $5 donation from Leprechaun Gangster. They say, "Go Gray! Great to see you in the Zelda block. The Cat Boys want to know if they can have a Kuko as a pet. Go fast and get those Doritos."
Leprechaun Gangster is my partner, and the Cat Boys are my two cats, Gremlin and Gizmo, and they are absolutely adorable. Alright, so I had a slight mishap there that may have put me back just a tiny bit.
Wishing we had gotten the old man check now, huh?
Yeah, I probably should have done Old Man first. Listen, I'm not known for making the best choices for certain things. I rely mostly on luck rather than skill. So we're gonna pop back up there through DMA, do the same thing we did before. I am going to then get Old Man so that we don't have to do that ever again. Because, yeah, Old Man's useful. But yeah, so we didn't get a chance to finish Spiral Cave, unfortunately.
I got some more updates for you if you have time.
Absolutely.
Go ahead.
We have a $20 donation as well from Kitara, and it says, "Lesson 3" for the comment. Thank you so much for that donation. A reminder to everyone that we are here supporting the charity CARE. CARE is a wonderful organization. CARE invests 9 out of every $10 directly in programs. Your investment not only meets immediate needs, but goes towards lasting solutions in the 110 countries and counting that CARE operates in, working alongside women and girls to defeat poverty and achieve gender justice. If you'd like to donate, you can go to exclamation mark donate in the chat or ladyarcaders.com/donate.
Fantastic. Alright, so this is the Dark World navigation we were talking about. Alright, so there we go.
Yeah, so Gray's using that boomerang to figure out where she is in this room.
Okay, we go up like that. And I should be able to go over right about here. There we go. Alright, so we have now changed rooms. And we have got Old Man. So we're going to throw the boomerang again. Down like that. Like that. And now I should be able to do this. There's the wall. There are the bats. We are home free. It is so much easier. Nice. If you use the sword when you charge it up, it's got constant sparkles that come off of it, so you see your location completely. With this, it's a little less clear, but same principle.
Now, Bombos is convenient, maybe. What we actually care about is rescuing the old man. It gives us a checkpoint right there, so we can return here pretty much whenever we want, and odds are, basically anytime Gray saves and quits, she is probably going to be coming right here.
Yeah, especially since we do not have Gloves 1, which would give us Dark World access from other places. If we're going to access the Dark World at this point, it's going to be from here. There are a couple ways we can do it.
Very important place.
I might have to do a swordless DMD, which is a Death Mountain Descent but without sword. So I can't do spin speed for that either. But yeah, the swords are hiding on this one. That's the only thing
You have mirror.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'll do to get in there, but at the same time, it's much easier if you have a sword. There we go.
Yeah, the lack of swords is definitely definitely a challenge on this seed.
It is, but it's a fun one. It's one that can be overcome relatively easily. Alright, let's pop down here. We are going to try and do this cave again. And hopefully the Moldorms will be more cooperative this time. And we're just going to use the bow and arrow.
Oh, I see. We're not even bothering to care whether they're cooperative.
Yep, I'm going to make them cooperative with a bow from distance. Because I'm not going to try and hammer them again. That was a bad move the first time. I really wish I had hookshot. That would have made that even easier. But yeah, so we're going to check this.
Or a sword.
Here. Please be a sword. Hey, it's a shovel! That's like a sword, but not really.
Looks vaguely like a sword if you squint.
Exactly. You can swing it like a sword. Doesn't make it effective, but you can. Not in this game, though. Alright, so we're going to pop into a thing called Paradox Cave. We are going to go down to this cave all the way on the bottom. Take note of that, because it's fun. And then we're going to pop into this hole down here.
7 checks right here.
Yes, this is a huge source of checks really early on.
Sword, sword, sword.
Hey, sword!
Well, wouldn't you know?
Heck yes. Alright, so we've got a sword now. That gives us a lot more options for clipping through things. We are going to do a couple of checks that were, here along the way. We're going to take out these Moldorms, because Moldorms are a thing. And we're going to...
That gives us access to a glitch called Spin Speed, which is going to make clipping through certain corners a lot easier.
Very much so. It's going to let us get through a lot of these ledges without there being any issue. Really? 3 heart pieces? You know what? The sword was worth it. Alright, so we're going to drop down this hole again. Now remember, we entered from that cave on that room. We dropped down, and now we're going to pop out here. And we are now further up the mountain. Because Paradox Cave.
Physics.
Yeah, so we're going to do that same thing. We're going to go back to where we were for Paradoxes. We are going to circle around and do 2 more checks. Those checks are going to be Dark World checks. We have a hammer, and we can clip through things, so we're going to clip onto the top of Turtle Rock and activate a portal. That will take us into the Dark World on this side. We could also access those by doing them with... you could also do that with the portal on the other side and using Land Bridge, but we're already over here, so we might as well show it off. So we're going to pop into here. Do yet another teleport, because fun. Alright, that one. And... oh. Come on. Stop being finicky. Alright, that's an upward teleport position. We one down. There we go. That. Oh, that's right. I don't need to buffer it anymore. I've got the stuff to actually do it on screen. So
yeah, having a sword spin makes it... You do have to press 2 directional buttons on the same frame to do a teleport, but you can buffer those out of a sword spin, which makes it a lot easier.
Yep. So now we're entering what is called Bunny Cave. It was called that because it's one of the easiest places to do a thing called the bunny.
Super Bunny.
Right now. Super Bunny. That's the word I was thinking of. Yeah. Super Bunny, which allows you to do Link actions while as a bunny. Oh, also, I didn't call attention to this. Our sprite is definitely not Link. That is Zelda from Breath of the Wild. And I know Uni is just thinking, like, why would you do that to yourself? Because most people measure off of Link's sprite rather than off of the customized ones, which can have some differences to them. But it's,
It's
later Arcader Super Showcase.
It's not a big deal for anything Gray's gonna do, I don't think.
Alright, so we're
Velvet
gonna
is
go...
definitely a Lady Arcader.
Yes, 100%. So we are gonna go into Mimic Cave, this thing we mentioned earlier.
There's a Dorito here.
There is, in fact, a Dorito here, and that's why we're gonna get it right now. I mean, part of me is like, maybe we should bank it and just wait, but I think getting it now is probably the best option. Yep. Alright, we could theoretically go into Turtle Rock and mess around there, but I don't think it's worth it right now.
Yeah, I thought you were going into Turtle Rock, to be
Oh,
honest.
no. No. I do not want to do that right now.
Objectively, probably a good play. Emotionally, no.
It's going to involve going through some stuff backward, and yeah. There's also, now that we've got a sword, 2 other checks I want to do right here. They are ones that are technically in logic, but they are also a pain in the butt to do. Actually, no, we don't need to do either of those thinking about it. We have a mirror. So we can actually do those the right way. Never mind. Actually, we're going to illustrate how important spin speed is right now. So, aside from just clipping into things like Mimic Cave, we can initiate spin speed if I were to hit the buttons properly. And pop through here. This is our first screen wrap. I'm actually at the top of the map right now. And I have just walked into the Tower of Hera from the bottom. It's a little bit swag here, but it's faster than climbing up as well, so...
And you can also do spin speed to run more quickly off of ladders. So, it's a frame-perfect glitch. I'm terrible at it, personally.
I get it about 50% of the time, roughly.
Yeah, I'm like 40%. And now, Gray's gonna do another spin speed clip to do Death Mountain descent and get off of Death Mountain. So just by doing a couple clips, we can get into the Dark World without the items you really need to be here.
Yeah, and we're going to do that to get 2 checks that would otherwise be done through other means. So we're going to go through here, and we are going to do a dash into this grave. Normally you need gloves 2 to get there, or a mirror. In most cases, people playing the game casually would go and get gloves 2 to get access to that from the light world. And it's some arrows. So nothing super useful there.
Wonderful.
The other one is the graveyard ledge, which we'll see momentarily. Gonna pop back through here. You can do a thing where you use spin speed to clip through a ledge to get up top of this, but it's
terrible.
It's finicky and yeah. Yeah, when I was doing practice earlier, I failed that about 10 times in a row, and I was like, nah, I'm not gonna do it if I don't have to.
Yeah.
You can also do it without having a sword, but that's really, really bad. Hey, gloves 1, excellent. That's a find. We now have access
if it came
to
to
the
that, I would find a way to fake flippers here. There's some stuff in this game that probably shouldn't be in logic, but is.
Yeah. So getting access to the gloves 1 is really useful for a bunch of reasons. Most notably is we're going to use that to get Dark World access now outside of Death Mountain. So now that we've got gloves and we've got a hammer, we have access to a bunch of portals. And that's going to save us time and effort.
It doesn't actually unlock a ton of checks, but it's very, very convenient.
Yeah, it's a lot more convenient than what we would normally have to do, which is going up to Death Mountain, doing descent, doing some checks, oftentimes being kicked out of the Dark World. Oh, Dorito! And Dark Cross Key. Alright, so there's something in Dark Cross. We're going to worry about that later.
Do you have map?
I do.
Okay.
No, wait, do I? That's a good question. Okay,
well,
we're gonna...
Guess we don't know.
We don't know, and it's not a big deal right now, so we're going to come back to that when we get the opportunity. What we're going to do right now is we're going to go and check what is affectionately known as Hype Cave. Hype Cave has 5 checks in it, and they are really easy to access as soon as you have hammer, and as soon as you have gloves. So we can just pop through here. We're going to check that real quick, because it is a really easy source of a lot of checks.
And we'll see how hype it is this seed.
Oh yeah. We'll see if it lives up to the hype. Oop, bombs. Yeah, you see, like, now I have no issue with bombs. I've been using them constantly, and there's so many more. That, get another bottle, which is nice.
You have all 4 bottles.
I have all 4 bottles. I will take that. Hey, Dorito!
That's a very good start.
Yeah, we also got Fire Rod as well, so we are right now there are two items we're looking for that are really, really important. Hookshot and the Cane of Samaria. If we find either of those, we can start doing some Ganon's Tower exploration. Theoretically, I could go there right now, but there are only 2 rooms we could go into that would be useful in 3 checks, so it's not worth doing immediately. And I need to stop autopiloting, because I don't know where the heck I'm going right now. There was no reason to go over here. We're gonna... Let's see. Best thing to do is we're gonna save and quit. We're gonna go back to Sanctuary, and we are gonna go to Outcast Village. Mostly because we gotta check Kakariko anyway for the Kid with the Jar, but secondly, we can do a handful of checks there. And they will all be quite useful, so we're gonna do that then. Hopefully we'll find a lamp soon as well. Having Darkroom navigation can be useful for certain things, specifically Palace of Darkness and Eastern Palace.
You thinking Thieves Town now, or?
You know, we've got... Yeah, I think Thieves Town is probably on the list right now. That's... I want to check out what's currently in the village. First we're gonna grab, again, do the check for Bugnet Kid. Normally in the game, once you acquire a bottle, he'll give you the bug net, and hopefully he'll give us something useful now. It's arrows.
Like 10 arrows.
That is not quite what I was looking for, but it's fine. It's totally okay. Alright, we're gonna pop up this way then, and we are gonna go over here and go around. Because, unfortunately, if we had gloves too, we could just go up that second path right there. That would lead us directly to the portal we want to use. But we gotta go the long way around. It seems really odd they would build this in this way, where, like, there's a check for gloves too for convenience, but not for actual, you know, mechanics. But hey.
There are some weird decisions made.
Yeah, you would expect, like, if they wanted to really block you out of that, all they had to do is force you to use gloves too to open that rock. Pop through there. And now we are in what is known as Outcast Village. And this one looks like it's made of cotton candy. With all the pinks and the teals and the... Alright, and... Hey, flippers! Nice.
Oh,
not a huge
nice.
find, but definitely useful.
Yeah, if you ever want to do Swamp Palace, that's pretty much required.
Yeah, we can do, and Swamp Palace is one of the best to check. So, getting more into the nitty-gritty of the game, there are a certain number of dungeon items in every dungeon. Swamp Palace has one of the highest regular checks to dungeon checks of any dungeon. So, if you can do it and you've got Hookshot, it's definitely worth doing. We don't have Hookshot right now,
has
so... Yeah.
6, which is more than anything other than Ganon's Tower, which has 14, I want to say.
Yeah, there's a lot there, yeah. There are a couple that are keys, but mostly I think there's only 4 keys that are in chests there. Plus a map, a compass, and a big key. And it's quite low. The rest of them are all strewn about the actual dungeon.
It's more than that. I don't remember whether it's 24 or 28 chests.
We found a map.
Normally play with key shuffle. But yeah, point is, Swamp Palace, good. Ganon's Tower, very, very good. There's a reason we've been talking about Ganon's Tower so much this seed.
Yeah, it's really, the faster you can get in there, the better. Now, normally, if you look at the trackers on the screen, there's 2 things that are marked with 7s. There's one that looks like crystals, one that looks like Ganon. Those are the requirements. I don't know why I was going up here. But those are the requirements for entering Ganon's Tower and defeating Ganon. Fortunately for us, we don't have to abide by those rules. Well, first off, we aren't going to be handling Ganon in this seed. But second, we're not going to go into Ganon's Tower the right way at all. So that 7 just doesn't mean anything. So we've got everything we need to do the rest of Thieves Town. And yeah, I'm sure my pathing is not perfect. But it's, yeah. I should probably stop taking hits. That'd be a good idea.
You do have powder, just...
I do. I've got powder, so we can make a fairy happen out of nowhere. And I've got a fairy in a bottle already as well. So stop it. Stop it, Stalfos. Now time for your sass. Sassy Stalfos. Alright, we're gonna actually take an opportunity here and utilize our powder and turn this anti-fairy into a fairy, if I can hit it. There we go. This room is terrible. Ah, the worst.
I'm
Definitely the
surprised
worst room in
you
this dungeon.
deemed Vaganon's Tower the worst room in the game and not that one.
That's the second worst room in the game. I just have a predilection for hating on tile rooms because they're terrible. Ah. Yeah, the heart wasn't worth it. Probably should have just let it go. Yes, that's the second worst room in the game from my perspective. Is it's designed to keep knocking you back and pushing you away. It's just not great. And
see, I would say the worst room in the game is actually just not one that you would literally ever see in randomizers because it's a random side room in Turtle Rock.
Which one?
It has a bunch of rubies in it, and they're a pain to collect.
Oh, the one with the 3 rollers?
Yeah.
Yeah, that one's terrible. Yeah, it's like, some of the optional rooms are just absolutely awful. And, like, you kind of wonder, like, why anyone would go in there. I guess, like, because if you don't know the dungeon, you're exploring, you're hoping you're gonna find something, but... yeah. The game can be very, very mean when it wants to be. Alright, so we're gonna pop down here. We're going to lift a block that, I mean, I don't know why it's liftable. It shouldn't be liftable. This is supposed to be the tutorial area for when you get gloves 2. So one would think that that giant steel block would be liftable only with gloves 2. It's liftable with gloves 1. Ooh, so we're gonna get both of those. And Blind gave us
Also,
a key.
oftentimes you end up having to... I'm very glad that was a key.
Yeah.
Oftentimes, you end up having to isolate this last chest, either because you didn't find the key and it's on the dungeon boss, or because you had to come in here without hammer. Fortunately, that did not happen.
Yeah, and like you can... there's a chance that it'll just be a compass or a map. We didn't know that it was going to be a compass or a map.
Or the key.
Yeah. If it's its own key, then yeah, you can't get it. And it doesn't treat that as part of logic, so... and there we go. We're not going to fight Blind, and I don't have all of the stuff to make it super easy, but it's still going to be pretty easy.
You have 9 hearts. It should be fine.
I've got hearts and a tunic. I'm fine. It's mostly not having Cane of Brenna or not having a bigger shield. Like, if you have the mirror shield, it blocks a lot of these projectiles. Funnily enough, the sword strength does not matter for this fight at all. It's just 9 hits with the sword. Any sword will do.
Or Ivor Cane.
Yep.
Nice leg.
Oh, I mean, that's the SNES Junior for you.
Yep. I mean, that's just this game.
Oh, yeah. And we got Sassy's Pendant, too.
Yeah, that'll let us get 1 additional check if Gray decides to go do Eastern Palace.
I don't think that's on the list right now, honestly. We're gonna mark this off as done. I think...
yeah, it depends whether you want to try and do that with Fire Rod.
Yeah, I don't want to do that with Fire Rod at this point. What I am gonna do... yeah, we're gonna do the shovel game. We are gonna check Stumpy, and then we are going to go to the Light World and use the shovel, because those are all checks that are right here. And then I'm thinking... check Mire Shed as well. It's right here. Alright, so we're gonna do these. Y'all get to watch me shovel. And, thankfully, with all of these minigames, they've built in bad luck protections. Normally, if you're running the game, there would be no protections on these. You just have to find the spot that it picks. With this one, if you shovel 32 spots, it'll trigger the item. Sometimes you get it right away, sometimes you don't. We got a less favorable pattern and it wasted some of our time. There it is! Dorito!
28th try, but well worth it.
Indeed.
And I believe we are going to have a pretty serious photosensitivity warning coming up here.
Yeah, so we're going to be clipping into...
one more check before that.
Yeah, we're doing one more check, and then we're going to do Misery Mire, which will have a flashing lights issue. So, I'm going to call it out now. Hopefully we can, prepare yourselves for it. And another Dorito.
Another Dorito. So what's going to happen is the game's going to try and load the rain outside the dungeon, but because we're entering the screen the wrong way, Dorito. Since we're entering the screen the wrong way, the textures aren't going to load properly, so it's just going to display a lot of flashing lights instead of the rain.
Yes, so we're going to take these guys out. It will be as soon as I cross the threshold over the top of this thing right here. So we're going to dare ourselves into it. We are going to do that. And now, flashing lights starting right now. We're going to pop down here, and we're going to mercifully get rid of that as fast as possible. So now we're back to this.
Looks worse on my setup. The colors are a little more muted than normal at the moment, I think.
Yeah, actually, I think we're going to do a couple of other checks here. We're going to check Meyer Shed real quick, grab those pieces, because we can. Sense, too. And we've got Mirror, so I can show a fun thing you can do with Mirror. When you push a block, if you use Mirror while it's moving, it makes them disappear. Just does.
I love this game.
This game has so much fun stuff like that. So we're going to do that. We got flips, so we're going to flip over here. We can, in fact, open Misery Mire right now, so I'm going to do that. I don't think I'm going to do exploration of Misery Mire, because we don't have Cane of Samaria.
Also, Misery Mire is a pretty slow dungeon, and it only has 2 checks in it, so...
Yeah. So I'm going to open it up just to get rid of the effect for the rain. That way we're not going to worry about more flashing effects if we have to flip back in. Yep. So we're going to pop down this way, and we are going to go and check 2 things. One thing I mentioned earlier, which is Checkerboard Cave, and another check that we couldn't get earlier, which is the Hermit in the Cave in the Desert. So we're going to check those real quick. We still do not have a Master Sword, and without a Master Sword, we can't do certain things, such as checking the Bombos tablets. So we have the book, we don't have the sword to enable them, though.
Would be awfully... with not a sword here.
But it is a lamp, though. Lamps are good.
It is a lamp, which does put a few things. Doesn't actually change what we can do, as with many items in this, but it makes a lot of things much more reasonable.
It's very convenient, put it that way. And we can also do Dark Cross check then as well, since we'll have the light for it. Won't be a problem. Drip bomb there. And technically I could have done Dark Cross when I got Fire Rod, but no one wants to do that.
I mean,
and
it might
gloves
be a
too.
map, and... Oh, well, wish we had got that earlier.
Yeah, that would have sped things up a little bit.
Yeah, so I don't believe Gloves 2 actually changes logic at all. No, it does Ice Palace, but
yeah, we've got Fire Rod and we've got Ice
It's more just
Palace.
a convenience item.
We got Fire Rod and we got Gloves too. It's pushing us towards Ice Palace, which is the thing I don't want to do. Trying to think where we should go next then.
You know Icebreaker, or...?
I don't know Icebreaker because I don't do glitches in dungeons. What we can do is we can do Palace of Darkness. Which
a good call.
we can do the clean path that way through there. It shouldn't be a problem, and I think we'll find some stuff in there. I'm operating on a hunch right now. We can also check Golden Pyramid while we're at it. Grab Sassy's item and do... yeah, that should be quick enough for that. I don't think it'll be a problem. Yeah, I definitely need to practice Icebreaker. It's a way of getting through that dungeon much, much faster. But it is outside of... oh, and this is an item dash. Which is when you use an item and dash on the same frame, which causes you to have the effects of that item happen multiple times over the course of that. And it's used for certain other things, like doing that with Hook Shot causes you to go into spin speed. There's a couple of little things like that. Oh. Troll Skull. Kaizo Skull. Pop that. Ah, you know what? Not gonna kill it. It's not worth it. It takes way too long. We could also probably do Skull Woods then, which might have some stuff as well.
Rupees. Could also
Good
just
rupees.
do Eastern Palace while you're doing Pod.
Yeah, so we'll do Pod, we'll do Eastern Palace, clear those out really quickly, since we have all of the items to do them fast. And hopefully we won't have to clear the actual dungeon bosses on those. So we're gonna pop through here, and we are gonna go up this way to get into this maze. It's a bit of a maze to get the pod. It was designed to be pretty obfuscated and force players to have to really look around to find it. And if I remember correctly, getting to Sarsaparillas, I can do that from right in... I want to say it's right here.
It's rough. Oh
Bam!
wow, that's a lot better than my location.
Right on the money. That was surprising. Alright, so we got Sassy's
Let's
item.
hope it doesn't
Useful.
bonk you on the way.
That would be bad.
Yeah, that was
yes,
impressive.
I
Wait,
am 100% shocked I got that as good as I did. Really, I am. Oh, I lost the monkey.
No, the monkey never even appeared.
Oh, yeah, maybe he... Oh, that might trigger when you go in. There we go. Now I got it. So, the monkey is a character that opens up the door to pod. He only appears there once you go into that little labyrinth area. I did not know that would happen.
That's another one I've never seen before.
Fighting all of the things tonight. Not useful glitches, but glitches nonetheless. Alright, so we're gonna do
the front of pod is basically going to be 90% keys.
Yep.
So, Pacific, if you have anything you want to say, now would be a good time.
Yes, definitely. I've got some updates on some of our current incentives. We're a little over halfway for the Muse Dash Flip the Track incentive, and we've got just an hour or two left on that one, but we only have $100 left to go, so let's keep those donations coming in if you want to see that Flip the Track incentive, which basically it's going to, for the rhythm game, Muse Dash, it's going to mirror the notes. So the ones that should be on top will be on bottom and vice versa, so she's going to have to use opposite hands from what she's used to. And then we also have a new leader in our Stardew Valley poll for the Marriage Percent run later, tomorrow morning. Currently, Abigail is in the lead, and so if you want to see Haley, make sure to mark that when you're donating, and she can still catch up, Haley, if you want to see her in the Marriage Percent. And then finally, our Animal Crossing Who Are We Designing For showcase later tonight. We have Kid Cat currently in the lead for which vacation home we'll be designing for, but second place now is tied between Tom Nook and Sable. So make sure to get those donations in as well and choose that incentive poll option if you want to choose which villager you're going to be designing the vacation home for.
Alright, so thankfully there were announcements and nobody saw me absolutely mess up doing those mimics.
Nobody saw.
no one saw. It's fine. It's fine.
Did you see chat? I didn't see anything.
Hey, big key. Alright, that's a good find. Saves us some flailing around looking for keys. And...
Palace of Darkness is a very weird dungeon logically because there are a lot of keys in this dungeon, and to make sure you can't lock yourself out of anywhere on accident, basically all the keys have to be in the first half of a dungeon. So out of the first 6 or 7 chests, all but 2 are going to be keys.
Yep.
And then all the actual items, of which there are 5, are going to be in the back half of a dungeon, most likely.
Yep, we've got enough keys that we can do all of this back section, so we should be good to go on that. Oop, that's close.
I never considered picking up both of those.
Yeah, I just find it's easier than trying to navigate around them. Let's flip those. We don't need to end our turtle friends there. We just need to let them not be in the way. And we don't really need money, so we're not going to worry
Hey,
about
Gray, you
these
have enough
rookies.
money?
Normally I would hoover those up and use them for something, but you know. Hey, more keys! Who doesn't love keys? Alright, so now we've got all the keys in the dungeon, meaning that all of the rest of the checks will be regular... Oh, no, actually, there's one more key. Thinking about it. There's... No, I think we got all of them, actually.
Dorito!
And Dorito!
Dorito!
We only have 5
left.
more Doritos. We are on our way. So yeah, we got a couple more checks to do in here. Again, we haven't found either the map or the compass, so that's... well, we found the map.
Never
We
mind.
haven't found the compass.
Is this a fun room to do without lamp?
Never. I will never. No. Not gonna happen.
4.
And Dorito! Alright, so we're gonna drop that there. Boop. Check what this is. Please be something good. It's a rupee. We are going to mirror
Wish
out.
granted, apparently.
Yeah, so we have one more key we can get. Because we need to open that one, and then we have this room over here, which means it's basically gonna be a key, but one of them might not be, so we have to check them anyway. So we're gonna pop up here, we're gonna use this key to open this door, which will be where the regular big key is. It's probably gonna have a key in it. I'm pretty sure it
This
has
one's
to have
more
a key in
likely
it.
to be the one not
Oh,
a key.
compass. Unfortunately, that compass means we're gonna have to go take out Helmutar. So that's gonna happen, which won't take us that long to get to. We're gonna go up this way because it's just faster. Yep, so we're gonna pop down this way. I was hoping to avoid having to do this boss fight, but it's fine. We've got all the stuff to do it. Shouldn't take us very long to do. We also don't have any of the stuff to make it cheaty and fast, which is unfortunate.
Yeah, you just have you have fighter's sword, normal arrows, which I imagine is what you'll be using.
Yeah,
But-
I'm just gonna unload as many arrows as I possibly can into him, but yeah, it's gonna take a couple seconds. We also have to push this statue because we don't have Cane of Samaria. Which is also, again, slow. Not something you want to do. Still looking out for Hookshot and looking out for our Cane of Samaria.
Everyone saw those mimics, I'm sure.
Yeah, the ones that I did just absolutely flawlessly, 100%. Okay, so we're going to a dark section, gonna have some turtles to take care of. There's nothing really going on for the next minute or so, so if you have anything you want to read off Pacific, feel free.
Sure thing. I want to remind everyone why we're all here. We are raising money for the amazing organization CARE. CARE works around the globe to save lives, defeat poverty, and achieve social justice. We seek a world of hope, inclusion, and social justice where poverty has been overcome and all people live with dignity and security. Founded in 1945, today CARE works in 110 countries, focusing on girls and women in their efforts because they are disproportionately affected by poverty and are the key to fighting it. If you'd like to donate, you can type !donate in the chat.
Alright, we are in the lead up to the boss. It's fortunate that we are just right here. There we go. So we have to use this hammer to break this mask. It requires, I think, 12 hits? It's a lot of
16, I think.
hits. It's
A
way
lot,
too many
yes.
hits. There's also no indication you're actually doing anything, so like, I know a lot of people that were confused when doing this the first time, like wondering what the heck they were doing wrong. Also, this is
Link to the
perfect.
Past is a game where you Google how to look up the boss fights.
Okay, just stand there. Come on.
And
There we go.
Nice.
A lot of arrows, but
Ray
totally
only
worth
has
it.
fighter's sword, so boss fights with that would be very rough.
Yeah, they take a long
Fortunately,
time.
red tunic and arrows are gonna handle it without too much trouble.
Yeah. Alright, I am gonna do a thing out of an overabundance of caution, trying to make sure that I know. I'm gonna check the Ganon's Tower checks to see if we have any one of our very special items up there. It's unlikely, but it's entirely possible.
I can
so,
if you want. I can.
I think... Oh, what's the current time?
It's around a minute and almost an hour and 3 minutes. Sorry about that.
Once we get past 10 minutes, I think that might be... Once we're at an hour 10, I think, in order to, just for the expediency's sake, we might want to look at some of those, just to kind of make sure we finish it out. But we'll do Eastern Palace right now real quick, so... Yeah, should be pretty quick. Although finding compass was not a good find there. Yeah, we're like really close to the end at this point. It's literally, if we find one of those items, that'll be enough for the sea, because I guarantee you there are at least 4 pieces in Ganon's Tower. And we might find some along the way as well, so hopefully this will be quick. Got our big key. Hop over here. There's a room coming up that I am not quite as good at as I should be, which is just killing 4 Stalfos, but I know there's a way you can trick it into only doing a couple of them, rather than all of them, but it's fine. Here. Hey, Dorito! Only 3 left.
Yay.
Shields in Swamp Palace. That is absolutely wonderful. We are never going to get that shield. Okay, there's our map, which means we're going to have to do the boss, unfortunately. Yes, also won't take that long. Just need to make sure we get more arrows before we do that. We are definitely low.
There's plenty in Eastern Palace, so...
Yeah, it goes out of its way to give you a lot of arrows. Okay, pop past here. Unfortunately, we also can't make these anti-fairies disappear, which is it's definitely unfortunate. Have to, rather than going for the clip, just gonna take out the enemies like normal. And use a bow for our Igor friend there. Stalfos, and those things go flying off into, blasting off again. Heart piece. So yeah, we're gonna check the boss. Should be a very, very quick check. This boss is not difficult in the slightest. Yeah, the pattern is basically completely determined, so should be pretty quick. Yeah, because we're doing an overworld glitch seed and not doing internal glitches, as it turns out, a lot of the dungeons themselves are basically just vanilla dungeons. There isn't a lot that goes on there. There might be 1 or 2 things that are a little bit out of logic or done in ways that weren't intended, but otherwise it's basically vanilla.
That stuff also just tends to be entering the dungeon from the wrong entrance, so...
Yeah, or another example would be Misery Mire, where you use dash boots to get across rather than using hookshot. That's stuff that's technically out of logic for the run, or out of logic for standard play.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's in logic, but
oh, absolutely, it's in logic. Yeah, I meant to say for just standard play. I did not get both Igors, which I got in practice, but. Okay, we're gonna make sure we've got as many arrows as we possibly can for this, because this boss is entirely dependent on shooting arrows as fast as you possibly can. Yep.
It's a pretty quick kill.
There we go, Dorito!
Only 2 left. We might end up meeting the seed without even going to Ganon's Tower.
Which would be interesting
Wow.
and kind of horrendous. I still want to show off the Ganon's Tower clip, so I'm still gonna do it, just to kind of show it off quick. So we're gonna save and quit. We're gonna go back to the mountain, and from that mountain we are going to do our fun screen wrap again, because it's fun. It's interesting. And that's gonna take us up to Tower of Hera. So, yep. Got it.
Yeah, and without, I mean, we can still check a decent number of checks in Ganon's tower with, hammer.
We could go up. And I don't tend to go up. If we get the key right away, we could do the top part. But that's... yeah.
I would
Not a good
personally. There are 4 checks, but they take so long to get there.
Exactly, so it's not worth doing. So we're going to line up like this. We are going to dash boots in. We're going to activate spin speed, which we did not do, so we have to line up again, unfortunately.
You don't need spin speed for this.
It won't let me get through without it.
This is literally my setup, but I don't do spin speed.
Huh. Odd. Hold on, let me line this back one more time. Yeah, normally with spin speed it's faster. Okay, so there we go. Got it. Yeah, that was being uncooperative, but we got it.
Yeah.
And we're inside Ganon's tower now!
You clip inside Ganon's tower, skip all 7 crystals, and now we can see if there was 2 Doritos or a key item right in here.
Yeah, so unfortunately, that's not something we're looking for. I'm really wondering if the hookshot is in here at this point. Hookshot or...
I did check and it wasn't.
Okay, well that makes sense. That opens up 2 checks, but not great checks. And we can go up, but we aren't going to do that. So, I think with this, yeah, let's just save and quit. And I think Skull Woods would be on the
Master
list
Sword
next.
is nice.
Master Sword is nice, yeah. Master Sword definitely helps us out. Oh, we've got a couple other overworld checks as well that we can do. Thinking about it, we have Blacksmith we can do, which unfortunately is not the fastest thing. But there's also Powder along with that for the Magic Bat.
Yeah, we can get a few checks on that side of Kakariko.
Yeah, we've also got Peg Puzzle in the Dark World we can do. So there's a few overworld checks we're gonna grab.
We can get the books checks now, and so...
We can. So we're looking for, again, just 2 more Doritos. And we're kind of, again, oh, actually we can use the convenient one because we have the second gloves. It's just a glove check and a glove check. Yeah, like the hammer is completely ancillary. If they would have just made that a gloves 2 check, that would have made it less accessible. Okay, so we're gonna pop down this way, and we're going to grab our blacksmith friend, then we're gonna do Peg Puzzle. So it's over here. I say blacksmith, he's a frog right now. He won't be a frog when we come back to Light World. For the moment, he's gonna be a frog and he's gonna be
That's
a
an
frog.
ominous thing to say about a frog.
It's a frog, but it won't be soon. Let's do this. So we're gonna do item dashing just to hit these pegs really quickly.
Come on. Hookshot or Dorito?
What we're looking for. Hopefully we get something good. Come on, come on. Hookshot! Yes!
Yay!
Oh yeah! Okay, so that's what we needed to finish off doing more Ganon's Tower. We are definitely in the realm of getting this done very quickly now. So we're gonna hand in the blacksmith.
You still gonna do the checks around here, or just gonna go straight to Ganon's Tower?
I think I'm gonna do the checks anyway. We're here. There's no reason not to. Our baguette smiths are gonna be working on that baguette for a while. I just want to get that out of the way first. Oh, Ocarina. Nice. Alright, so we can do also Magic Bat while we're here. Because we might as well. He's gonna curse us. For, I don't know, releasing him from his altar or something? I don't know, it's never really been clear what's going on with that.
I mean, it's even less clear in Link's Awakening, so...
Alright, so, we got rupees. Alright, thank you for the rupees. Alright, so we're gonna save and quit and go back up to Ganon's Tower once again, and now that we've got Hookshot, I can show you exactly what I was talking about, as far as using the spin speed for that. We now have a second way to access spin speed, and that is through using Hookshot and Dash on the same frame.
And it's so much easier.
I think they're about the same. But yeah, it's
I
definitely...
think this one is 5 times easier.
It's definitely a thing you can also attempt quickly if you got something you can hit hookshot into, and it's, yeah, there's a lot of reasons why it's useful. So, the thing that I tend to do for this is I pop over to this section down here. It's the same lineup I did before, only instead I hold down the sword and I initiate spin speed with hookshot. So now I have spin speed and I'm holding the sword out, which means I can just do that. Keeps us directly in line, doesn't lose our position, and lets us clip directly into it. Now, with hookshot, we have access to this entire half of the dungeon, and there are a total of 14 checks, I want to say, if you count the ones that are also shared by the other side in the middle section, so we're going to just absolutely blaze through this.
2/3 of the checks are accessible through this route, so much preferable to the right side.
Yeah, so we're going to pop through here, we're going to use our hookshot to navigate this room, which is a little daunting until you realize that it's just hookshots, so. And we get a key.
And
Heart piece.
Doritos, they're coming.
There've got to be more Doritos in here.
Just
Dorito!
hearts. There's one. And
So we found
end of this
3 full
run
hearts.
is coming up pretty soon.
Very much so. Right,
Could be literally any chest.
Yep, and there are a lot to check. So we are swimming in checks. Got all the stuff we need. I'm going to do this one anyway, even though it's almost never useful.
It's always a key. No.
Hey. It wasn't a key for once. That's absolutely shocking. And drop that. We're going to wait for that to go off. Put this in here. Drop the bomb as we run
coming
by.
up to 4 more checks, so...
Yeah, we got 4 more
good
checks
chance
in this
that...
wing. Okay. Sorry, go ahead.
Or 5 more, actually.
Yeah, all total we have 5 on this side of the wing, and then we have another 4 checks that are shared by both wings.
And then we have... 5, because you have the big key.
Oh, and the big key, yeah. Dorito! There we go!
None of that matters. Time is coming up very soon.
Yep, we're going to save and quit out of Ganon's tower, and we are going to pop back to our sage that is standing outside of the castle. It's right over here.
I just want to say that this is one of the rare runs I have ever seen that picked up the flute but did not activate it.
Oh, I almost never activate the flute, because by the time I find it, it's like close to the end.
And time is in a few seconds.
And time.
Yay!
Alright, well that was A Link to the Past, Triforce Hunt. A whole lot of fun. Yeah, so
A whole lot of flipping through walls.
yeah, the overworld glitch logic does add a lot of flavor to it. But yeah, Link to the Past is one of the more approachable randomizers. There's a lot of content out there for it, a lot of people documenting how to do glitches or how to just play it through regular logic. I highly recommend if you're interested in randomizers, this is a really good one to pick up. Okay, so yeah, I'll start. But yeah, do you have anything you wanna plug?
I'll be doing a run of restricted major glitches at Flame Fatales. So that is basically the same glitches you've seen here, but they're used to complete the vanilla game instead of completing a rando seed. So if you're interested in that, Flame Fatales.
Yeah, there are also so many more things in that run that are just fantastic. As for myself, I stream during the week. I do 3 streams a week. You can find me on Twitch at GrayGooGirl. So, yeah, I'm also going to be doing Flame Fatales as well, but two completely different games. So it's more randomizer content and a really fun vanilla speedrun. Yeah, so I think that about covers it.
Awesome. Thank you so much, GrayGooGirl, for that incredible run. Can we get a round of applause for Gray in the chat? That was amazing. So much fun.
Truly appreciate it.
Alright, thanks y'all for hanging out with me for those wonderful couple of Legend of Zelda games, Skyward Sword and the Link to the Past Randomizer. With that, my time with y'all has come to an end, but I am leaving you in the hands of the incredible Scala Kitty. who, by the way, had an amazing emote art showcase this morning. If you missed it, you should definitely check it out on the Lady Arcaders YouTube channel later. But make sure not to touch that dial because we do have some amazing rhythm game showcases coming up for you, and also a chiptune showcase later on that I am super excited to be on comms for. So y'all are really in for such a treat. So make sure to hang around. Thanks again for all of your support. Take care, y'all.
Hello, everyone. I'm Scala Kitty. I'm going to be your host for the next few games. For those of you who are just tuning in, you are watching the Lady Arcaders Super Showcase, an all-women charity talent showcase event running from July 6th until July 9th, benefiting CARE. The Super Showcase features a bunch of talented women showing off the games that they love. So make sure to tune in all weekend long. We're a little bit of the way through Saturday, but we still have a whole extra day of marathon ahead. Right now, we're going to just take a small break while we do set up for the start of our rhythm game block. And so while we all wait, here is a message from CARE.